I have no idea what I'm doing, but I know I'm doing it really, really well.
Hello Miners, welcome back. Today we are not playing Magic. And I use that term lovingly because we are going to play Dredge. With the new printing of Poxwalkers onto Magic Online and Descana the Rage Mother, Dredge in Legacy has transformed quite a bit into even more of an all-in aggro combo deck than it even was. The reason why I say we are not playing Magic today is because a lot of people refer to the way that Dredge plays as not really playing Magic. The deck honestly mostly plays itself, and this is something that I don't say begrudgingly. This is something that actually a lot of my friends that play Dredge have even said, like, it does not feel like playing Magic. The way that Dredge works is you can return a card with Dredge from your graveyard to your hand by putting the top X cards of your library into your graveyard instead. So the way that Dredge works is initially you're probably only going to cast one or two spells during the course of the game, and then you're just dredging, and all of your creatures do things when they hit the graveyard or can come out of your graveyard for free or for a minimal cost. So essentially your whole deck is basically just playing itself as you take whatever the highest dredger is out of your graveyard into your hand and mill as many cards as possible into your graveyard and see what they do. So the ways that this deck has changed is because Poxwalkers is basically a free sack outlet for this deck. One of the cool synergies of this deck is having Bridge from Below in your graveyard and sacking Narcomoebas to Cabal Therapies to get zombies for free, essentially, and tear your opponent's hand apart. Well, Poxwalkers will enter the battlefield tapped if you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand. So this is coming back anytime you cast anything with flashback out of your graveyard. The cool thing is this checks when the spell is cast. So you can actually sacrifice Poxwalkers to Cabal Therapy, and before Cabal Therapy even resolves, because the sacrifice is part of the cost, Poxwalkers is already in the graveyard before the spell goes on the stack. The Poxwalkers that you sacrifice to the Cabal Therapy sees the Cabal Therapy and will come back. So you're basically getting a free Cabal Therapy with flashback because the creature you sack is coming back because of the fact that you're casting the Cabal Therapy, which is a super, super cool little synergy and just takes this deck over the top in terms of efficiency and being able to just shit as much stuff out onto the battlefield as possible. The other big printing recently for this deck is Descana the Rage Mother. It is a 5-mana bear. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card for each creature you control with base power and toughness of 2/2, which, those of you who know Magic lore, that's the grizzly bear stat, so it is the mother of bears. You're basically drawing cards for every bear. It also says whenever a creature you control attacks with base power of 2/2, it gets +3/+3 until the end of the turn. So all of your 2/2s are turning into 5/5s, as long as this is attacking with them. You might think, why is this in the deck? Well, the tokens you get off of Bridge from Below are 2/2s. So what's really funny is if you have Bridge from Below in the graveyard, you have your Narcomoebas or something else on the battlefield, you sacrifice 3 of them to dread return this back. You're getting 3 zombies from the Bridge from Belows. You're going to get to draw 3 cards because Descana gets to see those 3 creatures on the battlefield because those triggers are going to resolve before your Dread Return resolves and Descana enters the battlefield. And then all of those 2/2s are going to turn into 5/5s when they attack. So the whole point of this deck is just to go as wide as possible with zombies and other recursive creatures like Poxwalkers and get Descana onto the battlefield so that all of your 2/2s are now going to be 5/5s when they attack, and close out the game in one turn with the help of Anger being in your graveyard, giving everything haste as long as you have a mountain. So that being said, we have mountains in the mana base to be able to facilitate this. Other ways to do things in this deck, there's a 1 of Ox of Agonis, discard your hand, draw 3 cards. The whole point of this deck is just getting shit into the graveyard and then dredging as many cards and putting as many cards in your graveyard in one turn as possible to hopefully have this huge-ass combo turn where you're getting back Descana with a shitload of zombie tokens from Bridge from Below, everything getting haste with Anger, and just taking out your opponent in one big attack. On the sideboard, it's mostly stuff just to protect what you are doing, since this deck very much doesn't play Magic in the traditional sense. It plays a very different style of gameplay where you're not really casting spells, so to speak. You're mostly just letting your deck do its thing and you're kind of guiding it along. Leyline of Sanctity is to protect your initial hand so that you can cast your first or second spell of the game to be able to get this whole thing started. It also protects your graveyard from targeted graveyard hate, such as Endurance, Nile Spellbomb, stuff that targets the player to get rid of the entire graveyard. It doesn't stop stuff like Surgical, Fairy Macabre, Extirpate, but those are mostly only hitting individual cards in your graveyard, whereas all of the mass graveyard hate is targeting the player, so that prevents them from wiping out your entire graveyard in one shot. You've got Stern Dismissal and Kiora's Dismissal to be able to stop problematic creatures that are on the battlefield stopping from doing things, such as Containment Priest, any of the kind of like Torpor Orb creatures like Strict Proctor, Doorkeeper Thrall, stuff like that. Chain of Vapor is just to bounce any problematic permanent, period. Whether that's something like a Trinisphere, a Torpor Orb, a Rest in Peace, an opponent's Leyline of the Void, something like that. Leyline of the Void is for the opponent's graveyard hate, or for stopping the opponent's graveyard deck, such as Reanimator or Scaminator. If you get paired up against Dredge, it stops that as well. Icarid is a recursive, hasty creature that if your opponent has like a Tabernacle or something, and you need to just keep chipping in for damage every single turn, you bring that in because then you don't have to worry if they Wasteland lock you under a Tabernacle. You just got to make sure you have black creature cards removed from your graveyard and you can keep hitting with Icarid to kill them. And then Ashen Rider is another Dread Return target to also be able to take out problematic permanents, and it exiles them as well. So this is another way to get rid of a Tabernacle. It's a way to get rid of any other kind of problematic hate card that your opponent may have, as long as it isn't already shutting your graveyard off entirely. So let's take this through a league, not really playing any real Magic, and see if we can beat our opponents who actually are playing Magic. Get you all on the wrap up. All right. I mean this in the most loving way possible. We are not playing Magic today. I am going to go ahead and keep this, actually. I like this. I'm a very inexperienced Dredge player, so we're going to see if this gets us where we need to. This is screaming Rescaminator right off of the bat. Yeah, that screams Rescaminator. What do we get? We get a Stinky? So, like, I can upkeep Otherworldly Gaze, or I can, like, Looting or Breakthrough to guarantee that I get Dredgers in the graveyard. I think I like that better. Because, I mean, Otherworldly Gaze is good. Also, depending on what our opponent does, we could... Okay, they're going to daze it. That's actually kind of okay. Because next turn it means we can Faithless Looting, put both the Stinkweed Imps in the graveyard, and then Breakthrough. Or we can try to upkeep Otherworldly Gaze, go into a Faithless Looting. Bend another Daze. Okay. I feel like this match is very heavily favored toward us, assuming we can get the Dredge engine going. We're going to go ahead and bin these two, and we're going to try to break through here. If this gets countered, so be it. We have another Worldly Gaze. We have two Dredgers in the graveyard to start dredging, and it gets... Okay, and we're getting two cards out of our opponent's hand, so I don't hate that at all. We also can upkeep Otherworldly Gaze to put even more shit in the graveyard if we want to. Like, the other nice part is like, the dredging stuff, like, it doesn't even matter. Are they just, like, making a small Murktide Regent? Yes. Okay. The dredging gets around drawing. It's a replacement effect, so it actually gets around Orcish Bowmaster shenanigans. And, like, considering you're a deck that does a ton of drawing, we're gonna have the Worldly Gaze here. Oh, yeah, baby. We're just gonna put everything in the yard, I think. Yeah, we're just gonna throw everything in the graveyard. It's all gonna end up going there anyways. And we can do some absolutely disgusting things here. So, let's see. I think we try to go for the Oxyvagonus here, and hope that this resolves. Get rid of the lands. We aren't getting those back anyways. And Careful Study? Yeah, the Careful Studies can go. And so can Breakthrough. Like, it sucks it's this discounter, but we've been through 3 counters already. Alright, enters the battlefield, discard your hand, draw 3 cards. I like it. Great Troll. And they're scooping up. They don't even want to let us finish doing all of our stuff here. All right. So this is Grixis Delver. Against Grixis Delver, I think we want Chain of Vapors, Stern Dismissals, maybe. Like, I don't think there's many creatures they're gonna have we care about other than maybe like a Dothy Voidwalker. There's something said about bringing in our own ley lines to try to stop what they're doing. I think we take out one Dread Return and maybe just trim a little bit on some of the engine-y pieces. Like, trim one each of those things. Bring in this bounce. Like I said, there's something to be said about bringing in Leyline of the Void to be able to slow down their Murktide regions and stuff like that and keep their Dragon Ray channelers tiny, but I don't think it's worth it because these are dead draws, like totally dead draws outside of being in our opening hand. So let's try something like that. All right. We've got the Chain of Vapor, but we don't have any. We have two Chain of Vapors. We don't have anything we can really do with our hand here, so I think we're gonna mulligan it. This is interesting, but it doesn't really do anything either. Like, I can play a land, Lion's Eye Diamond, Otherworldly Gaze to get shit into the graveyard, but then I've got to hope that I hit more mana to be able to get Ox back. Unless I can get some crazy mills off of this Otherworldly Gaze. I mean, we'll try it. We'll put Narcomoeba back. I feel like this hand has potential, but I'm very concerned, like, especially if they end up hitting a, okay, I was gonna say, if they had a Thoughtseize to rip this Lion's Eye Diamond out of our hand, we're kind of fucked, but we're gonna see. But this also very much depends on what we bin off of Otherworldly Gaze and what we draw right here. If they hard counter this Lion's Eye Diamond, this hand does literal nothing. Okay, I mean, fuck it. Try our Otherworldly Gaze? We can pay for Dazes. And our opponent doesn't even want to see it. Oh. Okay, I mean, I won't ever complain about beating Delver, but that was a little preemptive, I think. But okay, on to the next one. On the play with Dredge, let's go. Round two. I actually don't hate this. I actually kind of like this a lot. We're going to go ahead and keep this. I think we're going to start off careful studying. Alright, drew some lands. Let's chuck Imp and Bridge. Play out the Lion's Eye Diamond and pass the turn. Hopefully, we can go ahead and just dredge the Stinkweed Imp. Worst case scenario, if they have some way to deal with our graveyard, we can Otherworldly Gaze and upkeep, hopefully. Alright, Verdant Catacombs. Could be anything at this point. With our luck, we're going to be turn one stormed off here or something. Hopefully the fact that they saw blue makes them think that we're on, like, a Force of Will Dredge deck. Badlands. Reanimator? Okay, they're just going to Thoughtseize us. We don't care about any of the cards in our hand here, so that is totally fine. Like, both of these are actively still good in our graveyard. So, yeah, they took the Otherworldly Gaze, which is totally understandable. But luckily, like, literally either of these are totally fine in our graveyard. I could go, like, all in, pop this LED, Otherworldly Gaze, but since we already have a Dredger in the yard, I think I'm going to go ahead and just do this. Always yields an Narcomoeba. Get the Jellyfish back. There's a Cephalid Coliseum. There's a Faithless Looting. So there's something to be said about actually just going for the full gambit here. Like, we can play... Let's play Underground Sea. Cast Otherworldly Gaze. I mean, all of these in the yard. Put in the graveyard. So there's something to be said about maybe I should Ox of Agonis instead. I think I might do that, actually. Let's go ahead and bin all of this. Cast Ox of Agonis. Get rid of all the cards that I can't play from the graveyard anyways. Well, no, not Bridge from Below. Alright, so I need two more. I need to keep a Dredger. I've got a Stinkweed Imp and a Golgari Thug. I want to keep Dread Return. Let's do Otherworldly Gaze. I think we have to get rid of one of our Dredgers. I guess Golgari Thug? Because this is going to leave Dread Return, Stinkweed Imp, And bridge from below? Yeah. And then we need some good dredges off of the stinkweed imp. Okay, yep, we hit good dredges. Ooh, and a cabal therapy? Yeah, baby. What dumb shit can we do here? Let's go ahead and cabal therapy our opponent. They look like Reanimator. So let's go with like Entomb? Or the opponent just scoops it up. I guess that works too. I am pinning this as Reanimator. So let's go ahead and bring in the ley lines. I think we're just gonna bring in ley lines and let's see. One dread return. And then I guess let's do the same thing. We kind of just trim a few of the engine-y pieces. Yeah, just trim some of the engine-y pieces. Bring in the 4 ley lines. Let's try something like that. Alright, so this is very heavily relying on Lion's Eye Diamond, but I suppose we could just do a slower dredge, so I think we're going to keep this. I kind of wanted the ley lines, but this hand is just really good. Oh, okay, they're not Reanimator? So I could go all in and just be stupid here. We're going to see what we draw for this Faithless Looting first. Bridge from below Cephalid Coliseum. I don't think we're going to go all in yet. Because of the fact that we have the Cephalid Coliseum and now we actually have blue mana that's usable, I think we're going to wait. Because if we were to just pop this into a Faithless Looting now and they actually have like a Fairy Macabre, we'd be totally fucked. Because we only have 2 dredgers in the graveyard right now. This also gives us the ability to careful study or otherworldly gaze next turn to try to set up again. Oh, it's Punishing Jund? That seemed like a very quick scoop. Is this a collector oof? No. Okay, Scavenging Ooze. That's fine. Unless they have Elvish Spirit Guides to empty the graveyard, Scavenging Ooze is going to be too slow here. And then we need double Spirit Guide at this point. Alright, and they don't have it. What do we have in the yard? They have a Therapy, Faithless Lootings. So there's a world where we can go all in on this also, which I actually don't hate, to be completely honest. I think we're just going to go balls to the wall here. Yeah, we're going to bin everything, get a Cephalid Coliseum going. Imp and Imp. Wow, that's all I hit off of that? That's kind of disappointing. I guess let's go for the Faithless Looting. Another Narcomoeba. Okay, there's the Anger. But I still feel like this wasn't as good as it could have been. I do have multiple Bridge from Belows, though, so... Cabal Therapy U. This is a little nutty, though, the follow-up. Like, this follow-up's kind of ridiculous. Always yield. Always yield. Let's name... I don't know what kills us here, but I'm pretty sure this means they're on Punishing Fire Jund. So let's just start with Punishing Fire. Fury, Ignoble Hierarch, Outland Liberator. So what? I want to take Outland Liberator then? That's fine. Let's take Cabal Therapy, target you, sack a Poxwalker because it's free. Put the Walker on the bottom. Outland Liberator because they can go ahead and sack it to kill our Bridge from Below. And they just decided to scoop it up because we were about to make a lethal amount of zombies to be able to kill them. Alright. Dredging them out. I like it. I like it a lot. Alright, so this is explosive as hell. You know what? We're gonna YOLO this one. This is explosive as hell. This is probably, like, if they have a Force of Will or a discard spell, we're just screwed. But I'm going for it. Like, this is going to be turn 1 LED, pop it, Faithless Looting, Dredge, Grave Troll, get Poxwalkers back. I have a Cabal Therapy. Like, this is just super explosive if they don't have a counter spell. What am I? Okay, they don't have an actual land. If they have a counter spell, I'm just screwed. But I'm going to go for it. They paused there, but we're going for it. Like, the nice part is we have Dredgers in the graveyard, too, and if they counter this, we still at least have Dredgers in the yard. Oh my god, it resolved. Alright, didn't really hit anything. Wow. We actually didn't really hit anything off of any of that. What do we blind name off of Cabal Therapy here? Blue red. They didn't have a counter spell. Um, yeah, I really don't know what I name here. They didn't have forces, so there's no point in naming that. Scalding Tarn could be anything. Uh, Blue without counter magic. I'm getting storm vibes. Let's try Dark Ritual. Like, this is a total fucking guess in the dark here, but I'm gonna laugh so hard if this hits no. Holy shit. That is a lot of Manamorphoses. Okie dokie. I don't have another one of those, right? No. Okay, I was right to say there's Storm. Wrong kind of Storm, though. I'm wondering if they just chain all these Manamorphoses together just to get them out of their hand now. Or if they're going to try to high roll and play Bergie next turn instead. But if they can get into a ritual first. Okay, they didn't want Rem's Resolve. Alright, there's the Ancient Tomb. Okay, they're starting off with the Manamorphosis, so I think they're going to try to chain these into a ritual to be able to get Bergie down to turn these into rituals. Elemental Eruption. Create a full... Oh, that's interesting. That's a cool little finisher. Make a whole bunch of 4/4 dragons. That is cool. Alright, just playing Bergie. Okay, so they didn't hit anything. We gotta hope that we get some good dredges off of this Grave Troll. Alright, give me something good here. Narcomoeba, no, nothing that great. I don't have Dread Return either. Like, that's the problem here. I guess we're gonna get in. See if they're willing to trade their Bergie with this Poxwalker to nuke my bridge from below. No. Yeah, they realize that the Bergie is way more important here. I mean, there's nothing I can do, so I'm just gonna have 6. Alright, there's the Metamorphose. Now they are true rituals. I mean, luckily this Elemental Eruption thing costs 6 mana? Okay, Lotus Petal. They have the mana for it now if they want to do like a small storm. Burning Wish, okay. For what? Echo of Aeons, maybe? No, Past in Flames. I mean, the nice part is, yeah, they don't have haste, at least not yet anyways. We'll let our opponents storm off a bit. Being a fellow Storm player at heart, I'll let them have their fun. It's fine. But yeah, like, so they're going to get a whole shitload of these dragons. But I don't see a way to give them haste. I'm also not super sure what I even want to bring in against this. Maybe bring in the creature bounce stuff to be able to stop Bergie from popping off. But they're running out of stuff in their graveyard. But they are going to have a newly stocked hand. They can Ren's Resolve to see 2 more. I'm just interested they have a way to give everything haste. Reckless Impulse, Lotus Petal. So, like, they're going to probably have 20-something dragons. I don't think I'm going to be able to attack out through that. But at the same time, they don't have haste. Or they could just get enough storm and they're going to Burning Wish for Grape Shot to kill me. That also is a very real possibility here. Or if they just have Tendrils of Agony, Game Sticker Goblin, okay. Like, the other option is if they have Tendrils of Agony, they have the double black to go get it, no problem. Nope, I'm guessing they're going for a Grape Shot line. Like, they have more than enough to do it now. They just need to Burning Wish, go grab Grape Shot, and now I'm dead. Okay, Burning Wish. Is it Grape Shot? If it's Grape Shot, they got us. Okay, it's Grape Shot. Yep, they got us. Okay. Good job, opponent. Good job. Well, I got Storm right. I just got the wrong kind of Storm. Can't be mad about that. Alright, I guess what our opponent's doing. I think we want Chain of Vapors. I think, because this can bounce Bergie and stuff like that. So can Stern Dismissal. It's just a question if we want to shut off the Past in Flames routes with the Leyline of the Void, but they can so easily go around it, I don't think it's worth it. So I think we're kind of just doing the same thing we've been doing here. It's just like bringing that kind of stuff. Ashen Rider might not be bad for being able to get rid of a Born of Karnfell either. Let's trim a Dread Return. I think we're just going to kind of do the thing we've been doing here. Like, just kind of trim some of the engine-y stuff for this. Yeah, I guess let's just trim 2 Lion's Eye Diamonds. Yeah, let's just try something like that, I guess. All right, let's see. This hand does Stone Cold nothing. We gotta ship it. This hand also does Stone Cold nothing, so we gotta ship this. The these hands have been awful. I guess we keep this. Put back Ashen Rider. Put back Redundant Careful Study. I hate to do it, but put back Stern Dismissal. And just hope they don't have turn 0 Leyline. And they do. Okay, so we are going to be trying to find an answer for Leyline. I had a feeling I should have held on to that, but alright, those are not answers to a Leyline. We're kind of just waiting to find one of our bounce spells, which of course we threw one to the bottom, but I felt like keeping a hand that did nothing just to stop a Leyline probably wasn't the correct option, but I'm probably going to pay for it now. Yeah. I mean, we got a bunch of ways to churn through the deck to try to find those bounce spells, but now I'm like stone cold out of anything to do. As I said, I'm very much not a Dredge player here, so you know what? Behold my Narcomoeba opponent. Fear it. Fear the Jellyfish. Fear the Jellyfish. Fun story, or not fun story, but good thing to know. I can't do anything. I'm F-sexing, but good thing to know. The whole story of like if a jellyfish ever stings you, pee on it. Do not do that. Do not. It will not do anything to help you. Warm water and vinegar. They will disable the nematocyst from refiring. I know this both from experience, and for those of you that don't know, I have a background in ecology and evolutionary biotics with a focus on aquatics. If you don't follow me on all the other social media, and you haven't seen my giant fish tank in the basement, I am a huge aquatic nerd, and I used to work at multiple public aquariums. Do not pee on a jellyfish sting. Don't do it. Alright, my PSA is done for the day. Alright, so I wasn't even paying attention to what the opponent was doing, but they stormed off. We're getting to see this elemental eruption, which, like, this is actually super cool. I love seeing new cards see play, and, like, these alternative store finishers are actually pretty sweet. I'm wondering if I can do some kind of crazy, like, something similar to this, but add in a way to give these things haste. Like, that would be super cool. Bear Mom, Bear Mom. Worst timing, Bear Mom. But our opponent had it. I'm going to send in with the jellyfish to send a message. We're dead, but I'm going to send it in anyways. We're sending a message. And they decided that the dragon is mightier than the jellyfish. I'm just giving our opponent props that I love the new finisher. And I will let them swing out and kill me here. You got it, opponent. Just swing out. I'm gonna let these dragons kill me just because it's a sweet new finisher. So I'm gonna let them do their thing. But no, super cool addition to Ruby Storm. I might have to try this out. Good games, good games. I will definitely have to try out this newer version of Ruby Storm. The dragons are super cool. The opponent's saying they were stronger than expected, so I'm definitely gonna have to try out this build at some point. Okay, back to finish this one out. We won the die roll. Let's go. So this is interesting. I'm a little hesitant to keep it, but since we've got the blue mana for Careful Study, I think we're gonna go ahead and keep it. We have two Dredgers. We do get to draw first, so we get to see what we want to put in the graveyard. Play the Cephalid Coliseum. Play the Careful Study. If this gets countered, we're kind of fucked. Okay, multiple lands. So I kind of want to put the bridge into the yard. So I think we're going to do bridge and Grave Troll. And then next turn, we're going to Faithless Looting. Because this way, I'm hoping I can hit some shit to be able to actually take advantage of bridge off of the initial Dredge. Alright, something blue. Preordained. So I'm guessing this is combo of some sort. Normally, Dredge can just, like, chew up fair blue decks. But combo's another story. They kept one on top, so I'm a little scared of that. I'm hoping this is like high tide combo that takes them a little while to set up. Okay, so we actually hit some decent shit. Cabal Therapy. We have another Golgari Grave Troll. We're gonna go ahead and grab this. We're gonna try to go for the Faithless Looting first. Alright, it's resolving. Dread to Grave Troll. And then I had to take a normal draw, so let's throw back both. No. Yeah. Yes. No. Yeah, we'll just throw back both of them. Worst case scenario, hopefully they don't have like a surgical to be able to take out both of these, because that would be very bad. I thought about splitting it up between Imp and Grave Troll just so that a single surgical couldn't wreck our day. But we'll see what happens here. 2 blue, if it is high tide, they typically can't go off with this. Also, worst case scenario, depending on what happens, we either can Cephalid Coliseum or we have the mana to be able to just flash back a Faithless Looting. Alright, let's Dredge Troll, see what we hit. We hit a Narcomoeba, so we can kind of try to see what's going on over there now. How many bridges do we have in here? We have a bridge and a Poxwalkers. And I hit haste. We're going to go ahead and see what they got going on over there. We got our Poxwalkers back. And we have another Cabal Therapy. So we can get perfect information here, sack the Poxwalker, get it back. I think they're debating about forcing here. Spell Pierce. Okay, that's fine. Because we can do this for free again. Because we're going to get a Poxwalker, which we can then sacrifice to another Cabal Therapy to get it back and to get another body. Let's Cabal Therapy. Basically do the same thing. This is the cool synergy with Poxwalkers and Cabal Therapy. You basically get to sack the Poxwalkers for free. With Spell Pierce, I am very much getting combo vibes, so I think I'm going to name High Tide. Like, I very much think this is High Tide Storm. They have another counter spell. Yes? Bluster. Okay, this is definitely High Tide. So in that case then, because they have so many other things they can do here, there's nothing... Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just Cephalid Coliseum here, because it's going to give me the most looks at stuff. Yeah. Because I don't have any more... Yeah, I have no more Cabal Therapies. There's nothing worth Dread returning in the yard, so there's no point in trying to Dread return anything back. So we're just going to... Whoops, wrong color. We're going to go ahead and do this, see what we hit. Unfortunately, we only have one Dredger in the graveyard. Okay, we hit another one. Hit another one. Hit another one. We can chuck all the Grave Trolls. Get back 2 Narcomoebas. I have 2 more Cabal Therapies. And they just scoop it up. They don't want us to see what they got going on over there. Like I said, I am very much getting High Tide vibes out of this. Which, what do I want against High Tide? I feel like Leyline of the Void isn't terrible against them because it stops a lot of their like time spiral shenanigans because it makes it so that anything that's in the graveyard they can't get back. Chain of Vapor is probably pretty good. I don't really know what High Tide has in its sideboard most of the time. Leyline isn't as good because they can typically switch on to like a Jace or Thassa's Oracle win. So I'm thinking maybe just these 4, but the question is what do we take out? I guess we can take out 1 Dread return. Maybe kind of just do what we've been doing where we trim some of the engine stuff. Cabal Therapy seems very good here. Maybe trim a Otherworldly Gaze from 1 more Lion's Eye Diamond. Don't try to go quite as fast. I'm like super iffy about these Leyline of the Voids, but again, it stops them from being able to basically go infinite sort of thing. So I'm gonna try giving that a shot. Yep, let's try that. Alright, so yeah, we can't keep this. Even though it's got a Leyline, we gotta ship it. I think we're gonna go ahead and keep this. This seems a little wonky, but we're gonna put back the Anger for now. My logic is we will Cephalid Coliseum on turn 1. Turn 2, Lion's Eye Diamond, Cephalid Coliseum. We should have... Okay, now we gotta find a... I was gonna say, then we could Cephalid Coliseum on turn 2, but now we are going to have to find an answer to Grafdigger's Cage. And a way to get around was probably infinite counterspells. I'm gonna go ahead and just cast the Lion's Eye Diamond now. See, okay, that didn't get a counter out. The nice part is we got game 1. We're also gonna get to see if these Leylines are actually worth shit in this matchup here. Okay, this is not what I was expecting. Thing in the Ice? Interesting. Like I said, we need to find those Chain of Vapors. A Stinkweed Imp isn't gonna do anything here. So this is not, well, I don't know. I think I've seen some High Tide Storm decks play Thing in the Ice before. But we'll see. Alright, brainstorming, that's fine. Let them do their thing. Like I said, we need to hit Chain of Vapor, and we need them to not have a counterspell. They're playing it very slow. Either that or their hand is just a shitload of counters. I pinned Narcomoeba into play isn't really going to accomplish anything right now. So like the problem is I could try to start doing stuff with Bridge from Below, but I have no way to have any of my creatures die. I decided to ponder. Chose not. Okay, so they didn't shuffle with ponder. Now they're preordaining. Maybe this is just some weird Thing in the Ice Spellslinger deck. It's still giving me High Tide vibes though. Like I said, the chances... Okay, they double bottomed with that. The chances of them having no counter magic are slim to none. There's a ley line, so we're just going to go ahead and pass the turn. There's no point running out this Narcomoeba, because as soon as they flip Thing in the Ice, it just goes back to our hand anyways. It's like a... This wouldn't be a baby Murktide region. What the fuck is this? Okay, opponent's on some spice of some sort. I'm not super sure what the hell is going on over there. Ethereal Forger. Yeah, we're not winning this. I'm gonna give it a few more turns just to see if by some weird chance we can actually find and sneak through a Chain of Vapor, but they just had a turn 1 Grafdigger's Cage and we had no answer for it, so... This is also a little bit of a weird-ass Nombo where they're gonna get a spell back to their hand, flip their Thing in the Ice, and then bounce Ethereal Forger. So, I don't know. That seems like a little weird thing, but this is weird. Is this like some weird-ass Bosch and roll shit? Like, that's all I can think of. I know he played all 4 Cephalid Coliseums. Yeah, we're just gonna concede and go to the next one. That's totally fine. Turn 1 Grafdigger's Cage, and we didn't find an answer. So we do actually know that Leyline will be good against them, since they're using Ethereal Forger. Is there anything else that we want? Because these are all just creatures. These are all for creatures and enchantments. Yeah, I think we just run it back. Just make sure that we have an answer to a Grafdigger's Cage, or we can just go off sooner. Alright, give me a good hand. So this doesn't have an answer for a Grafdigger's Cage. Careful Study could draw us into something. And it gets some Dredgers in the yard. It's just how badly do we think this Grafdigger's Cage is going to help us? This has no mana. I got to ship that. Okay, I don't hate this. We'll keep this and put back Poxwalkers and Thug. And we've seen the Grafdigger's Cage, so we're going to go ahead and just pop off this Cabal Therapy right now. We have all of our colors, so we don't even care. Grafdigger's Cage. Alright, they did keep one. Okay, so it is High Tide. We did hit a Grafdigger's Cage. Some Ponder, a couple of Snaps, and a Time Spiral, so they're not really doing anything here. So we are going to go ahead and cast Otherworldly Gaze right off the bat. We'll see what they do with this Ponder. So in our upkeep, we're going to cast Otherworldly Gaze. We will see if they choose to shuffle or not. I would like to see a shuffle here. Chose not to shuffle. Interesting. Alright, well in our upkeep, we're going to go ahead and Otherworldly Gaze. Careful Study. We actually want the Careful Study here. We'll put the Narcomoeba into the graveyard. And then we actually kind of like both of these. Put on top. Put on top. Get the Narcomoeba back. So we can try... Let's Careful Study first. See what happens. So the unknown was a volcanic island. Put these in. We're going to go ahead and grab the Snaps just because we know they're there. Ooh, okay. So the Snaps are going to be gone. He's got a Scalding Tarn, 2 Time Spirals, and a Thing in the Ice. Okay. We will pass a turn. As long as they don't interact with what we're doing here, like, hopefully they didn't just top another whatchamacallit, a Grafdigger's Cage. Okay, they're just playing Thing in the Ice. I'm okay with that. So now we should be able to start doing things. So we're going to dredge the Imp. Hopefully this sets us up for a big Cephalid Coliseum. So we hit a Golgari Thug. I don't think we need the black right now. Do this. See what we can hit here. Grab the Thug. Ooh, only one? That sucks. Oh, but we can do it again. 1, 2, and 3. Let's get those time spirals. So before I do anything else, we're going to Cabal Therapy, target you, sacrifice Narcomoeba, get a Zomboid, and we're going to name Time Spiral, get another 2-for-1 here. 2 words, Time Spiral, okay. Last card in hand is a High Tide. And then I already played my land for turn. I can't do anything else. With a High Tide and 1 card in hand, they're not going to be able to do anything. I don't think there's any combination because they need... Are they just going to snap something? Or did they hit a Murktide Regent? Or is this that Ethereal Forger thing? Okay, it's an Ethereal Forger. That's fine. I don't really care about that. That's not a huge problem at the moment. Alright, so we've got Thug and Stinkweed Imp. Grab Imp, get a Narcomoeba. Alright, and we got some big dredgers in the yard. We're going to go ahead and do the same thing we did last time. Grab a Troll. Grab a Troll. Grab a Stinkweed Imp. Troll, and Imp. We do have a Cabal Therapy. We know they have High Tide in hand, so I guess we're just going to start with that. And we have Poxwalkers in the yard. Always yields to Poxwalkers. Okay, name High Tide, get rid of that. Alright, we have an Ox of Agonis, which is good. We can get that back. Is there anything we'd rather get back at the moment? Or is Ox our best bet here? Because I swear, yeah. No? I swear to God I saw that we had Dread Return in the yard. But apparently we don't actually have Dread Return in the yard. Is there anything we can do here? There's a Chain of Vapor, Ox of Agonis, Anger. So I can't do anything here. So I think we're going to go ahead and wait. They can get a card back here. There's no point in swinging in at the moment. We're almost out of our deck, so as long as they can't nuke our graveyard, we should be good. Yeah, they can swing with their Ethereal Forger. That's fine. I'm assuming they're going to get Ponder back? No, they took a snap. What are they snapping? Okay, yeah, we'll take the hit for 3. That's fine. They're targeting the Poxwalkers. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Alright, so what? We can Otherworldly Gaze, set up the yard, and then Grave Troll. I think that's what we're going to do here. Just to try to guarantee that we can find our Dread Return, is the hope. There's Descana. I like that. Put in the yard. I almost want to hang on to this Faithless Looting, but I can't. So all of this is going to go to the yard. Because we're dredging anyways. Dredge a Grave Troll. Have we still not hit our fucking Dread Return yet? Is Dread Return seriously within the last 3 cards of our fucking library here? So what? They can get another snap, bounce something else. See if they're willing to double block to nuke my bridges, but I don't think that's worth it. Yeah, there is no... Where the fuck is our Dread Return? Damn. Okay, we're going to give him one more turn to try to figure this out. Because the rest of our graveyard is about to go in. We're going to pass the turn. I don't want them to nuke our shit, so... Are they going to grab another snap is the question, or are they going to grab their Ponder back? Because, like, even if they flip this thing in the ice, it's not the end of the world, I don't think. Because, like, Snap is basic... Oh, okay, they took the Ponder. I was going to say, because Snap is a free spell, and they theoretically could actually flip this thing in the ice. So our whole yard is going to wind up in the graveyard this turn. Because we can upkeep, chooses to draw a card. It's a land. Okay, are they just gonna try to flip the thing in the ice and go from there? Like, as long as they don't have a way to nuke our graveyard, we're fine. Because we're literally gonna put our whole deck into the yard and then just try to kill them. Because Grave Troll's a Dredge 6. Alright, they already attacked, so they're gonna have one blocker. And we're going to try to do some dumb shit. Okay, pass the turn. This should be enough damage to kill them, right? Because they're all going to be 5/5s. Hopefully they don't have, like, a counter spell. I don't know, we're going to see what happens here. Like, if they have a free counter... Nope, shit's just resolving. So I need to make sure that I have 6 cards in my graveyard, so I can only put 2, and then I can dredge. And then my whole deck is going to be in the yard. If they have a counter, I feel like this is the spot where you counter, so that I can't guarantee that my whole deck is in the yard. Like, I feel like this is the spot where you want to do that. Because I've still got one more Cabal Therapy to be able to name a counter spell with. So I feel like this is the spot you counter. Alright, well, everything's going in. In the yard. In the yard. We can put Lion's Eye Diamond on top, because this will leave 6 cards. Yep, so this leaves 6. We get Narcomoeba back. And then I will dredge the rest of my deck with Grave Troll. Where's that Cabal Therapy? Cabal Therapy? I suppose a Surgical here can also kind of do us in, but we're going to see. I mean, shit's kind of just resolving now. Force of Will or Surgical Extraction do we think is the issue here? Let's go. We'll do Force of Will. Just like it was Force of Will. Hit it. Yes. All right, so they're going to be 100% dead here now. So we want... Where is that Dread Return? Dread Return, target Duskana, sack, sack, and sack. And this is hella lethal now. MTGO is lagging, and they scooped it up. All right, we got there. Named the correct one. It was Force of Will. All right, I like it. Taking down High Tide Storm. All right. All right. All right, final round. This isn't bad, so I think I'm going to go ahead and keep this. It's a little slower. This is like turn 1 Cephalid Coliseum, turn 2 Breakthrough. All right, opponent's pondering. The gig is going to be up very quickly. All right, the fact that I've got 2 Grave Trolls now, I think I'm still going to do what I said I was going to do here. We're going to play Coliseum, wait till next turn, then we're going to Breakthrough. Or we can see if we hit another, like, Careful Study or something. This is another mono blue deck? I don't know what our opponent's doing. Okay, Careful Study to start is nice. So we're going to start off with that. Alright, let's do Grave Troll and Poxwalkers. Breakthrough for 0? See if this resolves? It does. Alright, we're getting a Narcomoeba back. And then we're discarding our entire hand. Alright. I've got 2 Bridge from Belows. They don't have a Force over there. This is giving me High Tide vibes again. So we're going to go ahead and do this. We do have the Dread Return, so we could actually get super crazy here. Okay, opponent's brainstorming. Like I said, I'm getting High Tide vibes from this, so there's a good chance if they are, they're going to hide the High Tide. But I don't know why High Tide would have fetch lands. I don't remember if the versions I played had fetch lands. Alright, we're just going to name High Tide, see what happens. I don't know if they were looking for a counter or what. Okay, it is High Tide, again. In that case, then, I think we are just going to Dread Return back the Oxyvagonus. Like, it results in the same number of cards on the battlefield. And then I get some more dredging. Because if they blew their Force of Will on the Cabal Therapy... Alright, and they scooped it up. They didn't even want to see what we could find. So, because we were just about to dredge like another 16 or so. But it is High Tide again. This looks like more traditional High Tide, though. I think we're just going to kind of do the same thing we did last time. Bring in all of this. Trim some amount of engine-y stuff. I almost feel like I want to keep the Dread Returns in now. Sacrifice a smidge of speed. Yeah, let's get rid of the breakthrough. Let's try something like that. Okay, I think we're gonna go ahead and keep this actually. Like worst case scenario, do I want both of my ley lines or do I want one in the graveyard for threshold purposes? I think we want one for threshold purposes. Like worst case scenario, we can kind of just be a little bit slow here and just play out our lands and wait. If we want, we can also pop Lion's Eye Diamond just to throw the thug in the graveyard and get dredging, but I wouldn't mind getting my lands under me first. Alright, no turn 1 Grafdigger's Cage, which is nice. Anger, okay. Well, we'll play the Mountain for now and pass. We'll just get our mana under us. This also means that when we do decide to pop everything is going to have haste. I think we actually are going to run this Lion's Eye Diamond out, see what they do here. Opponent's brainstorming. Are they looking for a counter for the Lion's Eye Diamond? Because I feel like this does kind of ruin what we were trying to do if they counter it. It resolves, okay. I very much would like to get a second land down, but 3 lands is 6 mana is their like sweet spot. So I'm a little concerned about that. We'll see what we draw here. A bridge from below. Alright, we'll probably go for it next turn. Because we have all of our colors of mana now. Once we start doing the dredging thing, we only realistically need 2 mana to be able to flashback Otherworldly Gaze. The hope is just that they don't, like, pop off into a time spiral right here. Okay, they're not high. It's not high tide, so I'll take it. And what we're going to do, they can't really interact with anyways. Since they're not really presenting a clock, I'm half thinking maybe we should wait until we have another card to be able to use as a dredger in case they're banking on, like, a surgical extraction. Like, no matter what we do, it's a little risky. We'll see how they play the rest of this turn, though. Because, like, surgical on our Golgari Thug would suck. Because it's our only dredger to use right now. But we are starting to run out of time. We're going to go for it. We're going to pop this in our upkeep. It sucks using it for mana. Like, it kind of sucks doing that. If they have the, whatchamacallit here. No, okay, they don't have a surgical. Narcomoeba, always yield. What did we hit? Yes, but Narcomoeba in. We've got an Anger, we've got a Faithless Looting. We have no other dredgers, though. That was kind of a bad hit there, unfortunately. But we'll get in. We are going to have to take a normal draw now, which sucks. But if we hit a land, we do get to be able to flashback Faithless Looting. Like, they know what our hand is, so we can go ahead and just yield. Just passing the turn, okay. We draw a Thug, or a Grave Troll. Get in for punchies there, and then we'll see where this goes from here. Unfortunately, that was a really bad dredge. We're giving our opponent a ton of time to set shit up. But they seem to not be doing anything yet. So maybe we have the little Narcomoeba that could. We're just drawing all of our dredgers now. Like, if we'd hit Otherworldly Gaze, that would have been great. But we are letting our opponent kind of set shit up here. But they're not really doing anything either, which is the weird part. Cabal Therapy. I have a bridge from below. What would they have is the question. Like, I can Cabal Therapy twice here. And it does get me a Poxwalker's back, so I think it is worth it. I'd probably name High Tide here with the first one. Alright, opponent's gonna Flusterstorm. That's fine. No, we'll let it go. Like, we're gonna be able to flash it back anyways. And we're gonna get 2 bodies out of the deal? Does this one get countered? Yes? They're cycling Cloud of Fairies. Okay. I guess they're looking for a counter? They found one. They found a Force of Will. They're debating what they want to pitch to it by the look of it. Force of Will pitching a Snap. Okay. Well, we're getting in. We have an actual clock now instead of just a 1-1, but they got 4 cards in hand and 4 mana. But they haven't been doing anything. But there's definitely something in their hand they're trying to protect here. Alright, here goes the High Tide. Double High Tide, so that would have been a good name. They've got 4 mana? 6 mana? Are they looking for a payoff? I feel like this is looking for a payoff. Like I said, the nice part is they can't just, like, infinitely loop shit either. Cloud of Fairies, okay, they're building up Storm. They have 2 cards left in hand. one card left in hand. Is this a Mind's Desire for 6, or is this going to be like a wheel effect? Lordian revealed, okay. So they're in desperation mode. They're at the mercy of the top of their deck. And they didn't hit it. Okay. Okay, there's a Cephalid Coliseum. We can flash back Faithless Looting to get some dredgers in the yard? Or are they going to counter this? Okay, they're countering it. There's only one bridge from below, so I'm actually okay with it getting nuked here. Like, I'm totally okay with it dying. Because at this point, we are the beatdown. We are trying to stop them from being able to go off. Okay, well, the bridge from below is gone regardless of how this worked out, so... Okay, so that was gone regardless of what happened. They have one card in hand. They're going to kill the Poxwalker. That's fine. And I have Threshold. Wait, did they not take it out of my deck? They misclicked and didn't take it from the graveyard. Oh, shit. Okay. That's one way to do it. All right. Oh, man. So I really don't have any closing thoughts on this deck because I'll be completely honest. I don't really know what I was doing for the most part. I mean, I know I did not make the most optimal plays. One of those high tide matchups, going back and re-watching it while I was editing, I realized if the opponent hadn't scooped, I actually would have lost because I forgot that the draw trigger off of Descana is not a May ability. And if I remember my dredge rules correctly, you can only dredge if you have at least that many cards left in your library. So I couldn't even try to like replace those draws with dredges. So my inexperience definitely played out with that deck. I think because this deck is kind of underrepresented, a lot of our opponents kind of just didn't know exactly what my deck was doing either. Or because it plays on such a weird axis where I'm not really casting a lot of spells, especially against the blue decks where they're relying on counters, they just didn't want to deal with it. I mean, historically, talking to my friends who play this deck and playing against it, Dredge is a very tilting deck for people to play against, just because it plays on such a weird angle. But I mean, it's super cool seeing these new printings going into such an old and weird deck. The Poxwalkers thing, being able to come back for free on your Cabal therapies and your Dread returns, like that was super cool. I love that combo. Descana is just a great finisher, pumping all of your zombies. Like the deck felt sweet. A lot of the matchups, our sideboard cards really didn't matter that much. As you saw, almost every single match, I was basically just bringing in Chain of Vapors to try to bounce anything our opponent could have. Most of the time, I was worried about just Leyline of the Void. We didn't really get to see any of the other sideboard cards really pop off or anything, to be honest. A lot of what I was doing was just trying to stop my opponent's graveyard hate instead of trying to stop what my opponent was doing outright. But, I mean, it was a blast to play. I definitely know I did not make optimal lines. I did not play this like an experienced dredge pilot because I had no idea what I was doing, but I still managed to pilot this pile of cards to a 4-1, which I think that speaks just kind of to the raw power of this deck in general, that someone who has no real grasp on what they're doing outside of the basics can actually do that well. Again, I think this is kind of underrepresented at the moment, and that's part of the reason why, because people just aren't used to playing it anymore like it used to be. So I'm sure I caught a couple of people off guard. We definitely saw a couple of early concessions that I just think they didn't want to deal with what I was doing. They definitely felt like very early concessions to me. They were probably going to die anyways. But you definitely saw that with the blue decks where I wasn't casting spells. I was just putting shit into the graveyard for free and returning it. And then even when I'm casting spells, so to speak, like they're basically free because I'm just sacrificing creatures and replacing them with zombies from Bridge from Below. So overall, it was a ton of fun to play, though. I don't know how often I'll play it, but it's probably something I'll come back to and just fuck around with every now and then because it was a blast and it led to some really funny lines and everything. But yeah, if you love graveyard decks, if you're a Dredge aficionado, I really do think the newest iterations of Dredge are absolutely fantastic. Descana and Poxwalkers were huge additions to this deck, made it way more powerful, way more consistent, and I like where Dredge is going. Hope you enjoyed the league. I will catch y'all next time, and as always, stay salty. Thank you for watching the video. If you like what you saw, do me a favor, hit that like and the sub button below. They are both free ways to support my channel and support my content. Make sure while you're at it, you also go stop by and follow me on all the other socials to see what I'm doing outside of the world of Magic. If you really like what you see and you really want to support the channel, or you have a crazy deck list you want to see played here, stop by the Patreon, submit a donation deck list. Whether it's a deck you want to see me play, a challenge for something you want to see me build, or you just want to see me play whatever the hell I feel like playing that week, stop by there. It is just the price of a league to get your deck on video. As always, thank you for stopping by. I hope you all had fun, and as always, stay salty.